Hello, this is Victor Cuevas, and I'm going to show you in this video as quickly as I can how to use the infinite banking concept to pay off debt. The infinite banking concept is the concept where you create your own family bank, your private bank, and that's what you're going to use to pay your debt off. Now, I have here the Money Mastery program right here. And the Money Mastery program is a great program. If you don't want to use infinite banking, then this will work fine. It's a software program where you can list all your debt and use the debt snowball that I referred to in my blog to pay off the debt. You can see you can do this whole worksheet up, but we're going to concentrate on this part right here. Where you have Visa credit card, you have medical debt, you have a Discover card, furniture, automobile, you have the minimum monthly payments right here. You have the interest rate on each one of these. You have the principal balance and the projected, pay off debts, and if you follow this debt snowball. Now we got to come up with this debt snowball, which is what Money Mastery refers to as the accelerator. And let's suppose that amount is $500. So where are you going to get the $500? That could be excess cash that you have coming in. Now, how do I get to the excess cash? Well, for some of you, you might need to sell some things off. You might need the one spouse that's not working may need to go to work, or someone in the household needs to get a second job. I recommend, truthfully, stop contributing to your 401k if you're contributing to your 401k. I think getting out of debt's more important than contributing to your 401k. Okay, so wherever, and I'd be happy to consult with you to try to help you find that extra money. But let's suppose in this example, your accelerator or your debt snowball is going to be $500. Let's see how it would work here. So you take the $500 and we're going to put it with this $55, which is the minimum payment, to pay off this first debt. Now the way Money Mastery does it is they prioritize a debt according to which has got the less principal amount left. I like that method. Some people like to go with the highest interest rate, in which case you would start with this furniture debt. I don't like that. I like going to the smaller one. Works better. And by the way, this mortgage debt, we're not going to worry about that in this example because I don't recommend people paying off their mortgages. I can go into a whole spiel about that, but most people keep refinancing their houses. They upgrade to another house. Later on, they downgrade to a small house, pick up another mortgage. One of the worst things you can do, especially before age 60, is pay off a mortgage. Unless you are bound to determine that you're never going to move for the rest of your life and that's where you're going to stay, come hell or high water, so to speak. I'm never going to move. Maybe later on. But anyway, we'll forget about this mortgage for the time being. So you take the $55 and the $500 debt snowball, and you're able to knock this Visa card right off the bat. Now you're going to have the $55 plus the $500. And now you're going to add the $200 because it's the minimum debt on this medical debt, minimum payment. And we're going to have $755 being applied each month to the 2420. And that's going to take care of that fairly soon. After that's paid off, you have the $200, the $55, the $500 debt snowball plus the $296 all together, right? Which is over $1,000 now. That's going to go towards this $4,200 debt, which by that time will be smaller because you've been paying down on it with this, been making these minimum payments. And you knock that one out. And now you take the 500 plus the 55, the 200, the 296. And now the 237, you can go to this one and you can see how it goes. By the time you get to the automobile debt that's been being paid down during this time, you have 500 plus 55 plus 200 plus 296 plus 237 plus the $417, and that's a lot of money going towards whatever's left on on this automobile debt. So in a few short years, you've taken care of all this debt. That's the way your debt snowball works, and you have this software program that helps you keep track of it. There's only one problem with that. If you listen to Dave Ramsey, who's one of the most well-known gurus on this debt snowball thing, he tells you only have $1,000 set aside in the bank account and throw everything on there. You're going to sell everything you own that you don't need. You're going to live on rice and beans, beans and rice. You're going to come up with that $500 debt snowball or whatever that amount is. And you're going to aggressively attack that debt. And then when it's all done, you can call this radio show and says, I'm debt free. But you're broke. You don't have any money in savings. You only have $1,000. And during this time, your car has gotten to a point where you need a new car. Now, what are you going to do? Well, I got a lot of extra money now, Victor. Still, how long is it going to take you to save money to buy a $25,000 car? A long time. So I got a better idea. Now, you're still going to have the $500 debt snowball, right? But now you're going to put that $500 each month into a side fund over here. Now, $500 a month is $6,000 a year. Now, you've been throwing $6,000 a year over here, and that's a lot of money. At the end of it, you have nothing to show. You're out of debt, but you have no money. You're going to put it over here, and that money is going to earn interest and dividends in the side account that I'm going to show you. So it's earning the interest and dividends, and now what you're going to do is you pay that you pay that $500. You're going to continue to make the minimum payments, and you're putting in the well, right off the bat, you're going to pay off this $460 like before. And now, but when you do, you've taken out a loan for 5%. Now you're going to save money on this 12%. And the $55 is going over here to pay that note off. And the $500 is going into your warehouse of wealth that I'm calling it warehouse of wealth, and it's earning interest and dividends. So then, pretty soon, at $500 a month, and this $460 note being paid down, you're going to have enough money to borrow against your warehouse of wealth and stroke a check for whatever is remaining on this account here. Now you've got another note here. This one's probably paid off by then, and that $55 is going into the warehouse of wealth along with the $500, and now this $200 is paying off that note here that you paid off with a loan. Now bear in mind that you're getting a loan against your assets. Your assets stay intact. No money comes out of here. It continues to build up $500 a month plus the $55, earning interest and dividends. And pretty soon you'll have enough money to pay off, to take a loan off and stroke a check for whatever's left on the Discover account. Now the 55 and the 200 are still going in here along the 55 with the 500 a month, and now your 296 is going to pay off that note at 5%, and so forth and so on. Whenever you get enough money here to pay off cash that's available in cash value, that you can stroke a check to pay the next debt, take a loan against that cash value, pay enough debt and pay off this debt. You do it, and now you're paying off the loan over here against your warehouse of wealth. Now, what's that going to do for you? You're still going to get out of debt like before. You're still using a debt snowball or an accelerator. But what happens is when you finally get this automobile paid off, you're going to have a big pile of cash sitting over here. Now, I don't know, let's suppose it took 5 years to get this done. All right. What happens? You've been putting $6,000 a year, plus whenever this paid off, you've been putting into 55 and the 200 and the 296. That's been going on top of the 500. You're going to have well over $30,000 in that account. You might have $35,000 in that account. Right? So instead of coming down here to where all you have is your mortgage left, you're debt free other than your mortgage, but all you have is $1,000 in the bank, the Dave Ramsey way. Now you sitting over here in your own private bank between $30,000 and $40,000. And you go, okay, I need another car, man. My car's old. And you borrow $25,000. Now you can go to your bank, borrow $25,000 at 5%, stroke check cash for your car, pay it back to your bank. And you still have money you can borrow against for a rainy day. Now, you say, well, Victor, I can get a loan for 3%, 4%, maybe. Maybe, but it doesn't make any difference because you're still taking money and throwing it towards someone else. They earn the interest and you never see that money again. Here, you're borrowing against your asset that continues to grow. So your asset's earning 4.5%, 5.5%. You're recouping your interest and your assets are building at the same time. Now, I don't know about you, but that makes a whole lot more sense to me than doing it this other way where you pay off all this debt and you have no money. And now you got to save money for your next purchase. Look, folks, we need funding all our lives. The average family out there, two-income families making $50,000, $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year. How are you going to save money for retirement, save money every month to buy a car for you, save money enough to buy a car for your spouse, save money enough for to buy your teenagers a car when they get around there, save money for vacations. All you're doing is you're not going anywhere. You're not enjoying life. All you're doing is saving up money to make the next car payment. As soon as you buy that car, you're saving up some more money to buy the next car. And you save. It's extremely hard, folks, people to stay out of debt. And people that use this and get out of debt, I applaud them. But you know what? They're going to get back into debt again because they have no money. Unless they want to drive $3,000 or $4,000 junkers the rest of their life. Now, someone that's making $300,000 or $400,000 a year, they want to live off of $150,000 or $200,000 a year. Okay, they could probably do it because they're putting in $10,000, $15,000 in the bank every. But it's still not earning any money for them. The bank doesn't pay you any interest. See what I mean, folks? So what happens is, if you're using infinite banking, then in 5 years, you've got in between $30,000 and $40,000 in there. If you want to, at that point, stop paying into your bank and be done with it, you could. You could. And you'd have a bank that will continue to grow and grow and grow and grow over the years. And you can use a bank. However, I wouldn't do that. I would continue to fund your warehouse of wealth over here, and here's the reason why. Because that warehouse of wealth, your infinite banking strategy, if you keep paying on it till you get into your retirement years, you can retire from that and it will pay you a tax-free income for the rest of your life. I can show you, folks, especially if you're in your 20s, I can show you how you can just disregard the 401k, which has not worked out well for the average American, and put all your retirement savings for the future right in your infinite banking, your own private bank. Put it all in there. Every time you come into excess cash, throw it in there. Warehouse it in there. Keep it there. You don't need to keep it in the bank. Keep some money in your bank account and your checking account. If you want to keep $1,000 in a savings account over there, fine. But keep all of your money. Anytime you come into some money, throw it into your warehouse of wealth. Build that thing up. You'd be surprised how quickly that thing can build up. Before you know it, you may have $80,000, $100,000. You can finance anything. Retirement, college, all your cars, your washing machines, you got to replace your air conditioner in your house, whatever. Vacations, opportunity. Take advantage of opportunities. Well, I can buy this junker house over here for $40,000, fix it up for $25,000 and sell it for $100,000. Where am I going to get the money? Well, I got $120,000 in my policy. I'll borrow the $45,000 and the $20,000. I'll borrow $65,000. I'll fix it up. I'll hire a general contractor. Don't do the work yourself. Sell it for $80,000. Pay back my bank. Put $30,000 in my pocket. See what I mean, folks? So, you have one strategy, your family bank, that can provide for every aspect of your financial life, practically every aspect of your financial life. But here's the most important part. Your warehouse of wealth that you can retire from with a nice tax-free income, basically your own personal pension plan, will self-fund everything in your life if you die. Because there'll be a death benefit, a substantial death benefit attached to it, tax-free. You can't pay off your debt, and if you don't pay off your debt before you die, it's paid back in spades and then some. You're not around to help your kids pay for college, pass on, there's money for that. You're not going to be around to contribute to a retirement account so you and your spouse can live a comfortable life in retirement. You pass on, pays a big death benefit that your spouse can put aside some of it for retirement. It's all there, folks. It is a much smarter and more efficient way to get out of debt. And once you get out of debt, you stay out of debt for the rest of your life. Why? Because now you've got your own bank to go to, borrow against for all your debt. Well, you said, Victor, I'm not out of debt. I'm still borrowing money. Yes, that's true. But you could pay cash. There's $80,000. You want to buy a $30,000. I could take $30,000 out of $80,000 and buy a car with it and leave the rest in there. That would be dumb. Because now you take $30,000 of cash that's earning you interest and dividends and blow it on a car that when you drive off the curb, it loses $3,000 of value. Is that a good use of money? It's a horrible use of money. So I'll borrow from my bank, pay cash for the car, got the title in hand, I pay back my bank. My bank grows the whole time. After I pay back the note, I got more money in my bank than I had before. I continue my asset growing. I've borrowed money. I've paid it back. But I've grown my money at the same time. It's covered my interest. I'm basically paying cash for everything all my life. And it's a great way to manage your life because you know, let's suppose you've got $50,000 of cash value. You know, okay, that's $50,000. Whatever I do, I can't ever spend more than $50,000 because that's all I got in there to borrow from. That's my bank. So anything else about that, I either got to do without or I pay cash for it. You know, I want to go on a $3,000 vacation. Well, you might have that, your checking account. Pay cash for it. You know, if you want to do that. You know, but you can use it for vacations. You might say, well, I want to take my family on a dream vacation to Disney. That's going to cost me $8,000. Borrow it from your bank. Pay back over the next 12 months or 24 months. That's okay. You know, it's there. See? So you're no longer a slave to the lender. You don't even have to pay back the note. I mean, you can pay back on your terms. Like, well, I can't pay on it for the next year. That's okay. Don't pay on it. It's your bank. Now, we want you to pay back on it, you know, and pay back in a reasonable way so you can continue to, you know, to borrow from it. But if you can't, you can't. No one's going to, if you borrow for a car and you can't, and 2 years into it, you got to stop paying on it for the next 6 months. No one's going to take the car from you because you paid cash for the car and you got the title in your hand. It's a beautiful thing, folks. It's a beautiful thing. So I don't want to, you know, drag this video out anymore. I want you to get the basic concept of how you can pay off debt with the infinite banking concept. Why it makes more sense to do it that way than the conventional way using a debt snowball. You're still using a debt snowball, but with infinite banking, your debt snowball is creating a warehouse of wealth, an asset that continues to grow with interest and dividends, unabated, unhindered, guaranteed the rest of your life. The interest is guaranteed. Dividends not, but the instruments I use, the dividends have always been paid for well over 100 years. It's practically guaranteed, although I can't say it's guaranteed, but the interest part of it is guaranteed. So there it is, folks. Paying off debt with the infinite banking concept. I highly encourage you to contact me and let's see how it can work in your life. God bless.